this is Michelle from Scrap Secrets again, and today we're going to be making a card with one of the images from the Elmo and Friends holiday. It is on page 22, and it's Elmo surrounded by a bunch of hearts. Now, I did already cut out the pieces to save some time on the Cricut. This is the base, and then his body, and the hearts, and the eyeballs, and a couple of the highlights for the hearts and background. This is what it's going to look like when it's all finished. I have two nieces, so I'm going to be making two of the cards, and I already assembled one of the Elmos, but I wanted to show you guys how to put it together in case you've never put anything from this cartridge together before. And then I also wanted to do the background. I've actually already glued a black piece of cardstock to one of my white card bases that I always use. And then what I also did was take a white piece of paper, and I want to make it look a little bit like this. I put some, I don't know if you can see that real well. I sprayed this one with water. I don't think I'm going to spray the next one, because I like the way this turned out, but before I sprayed it, it looked a little bit nicer. So, to show you how to do this, what you're going to do is take the red piece and adhere that down first. I'm not really fond of this glue. It comes out a little bit too fast, and it took me a little while to get the glue to dry. I actually had it underneath some Mod Podge, the Mod Podge bottle, just to flatten it out a little bit, because when the glue clumps up, then it makes the image stand up too much off the background. So his poor little arm got soaked there. So, and I just usually use a pair of ordinary regular tweezers. Kind of hold the image into place. Now I'm going to have to put this right side up. And you want it so there's a little black border around all of the piece. It's his outline. We're going to do that first. So it's going to look like. And then start gluing the other pieces down. Again, there's going to be a little black border around all of the pieces. Just make sure that you're gluing on the right side of the piece you cut out. I've done that before. Glued on the wrong side. The big heart is down at the bottom. What's nice is that with cutouts like this, they leave marks where his nose and his eyes are. They leave a little line so that you can tell exactly where the cutout piece is supposed to go. It's almost like a little puzzle. And here's his little nose. And I believe it fits in like this. It kind of looks funny until you have it all put together. And then he really does start to look like Elmo. His little nose. And his eyes, just making sure I have the right side. To move his nose down a little bit. In place, and then there's no glue on that. See, I really don't like these glue sticks. I really should invest in a Zig two-way glue pen. That seems to be the best way to put the cuts together. It's not this. It's more of a dry adhesive than this, and it doesn't. Sometimes this glue leaves a little bit, even though it dries supposedly clear. You can still see the little pieces on pieces of glue that you got there. Okay, and then when you cut out the whites of the eyes, there are also these little pieces here that go on the heart. There's two that go up here, and then supposedly one that goes down the bottom of this one. Even though they give you 4 pieces, this is how I decided to layer them, 2 on the top and then 1 on the bottom. Just here, and again, there's little cut lines for you to place it on. See exactly where it goes. I'm just trying to use some of the glue that was on the side. There's no cuts on the larger heart. Just the I'm sorry, the heart on the bottom. There was no cuts, but when you look at the picture from the booklet, it shows that there should be a piece that goes down there, a little white piece. Okay. These little pieces are tricky here. And then you can figure out, just put the hearts on top of these hearts. I won't do those ones. So, there are my 2 Elmos. I know the hearts are 2 different color pinks. I couldn't find this color pink paper, so I just used a different scrap. One of the things that I'm trying to do this year is use up as much of my scraps as possible. So I went through my scraps looking for colors instead of cutting up a good piece of 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11. Just see if I could get rid of those, get rid of my scraps. So this is the card base, 2 card bases. And then I'm just going to do one of these backgrounds, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. I am going to be using the worn lipstick, the picked raspberry, and the fired brick distress inks. So when you're doing a background like this, you want to start with the lightest color, which in this case would be worn lipstick. And then just kind of take it, again, you take your foam applicator, start off the paper in little circles. And every background paper that you do is going to look different depending on where you put the colors and how much of what color you use. But I think that's the fun part of it, is that it all will look different. I'm going to put the color in a couple different spots. Again, you can always go back and add more later. So that's the worn lipstick. I'm going to use the other end and do the picked raspberry. And then what you're going to want to do is start to blend those colors together so that there really isn't a hard transition between the 2. And these colors will blend very nicely together. Distress inks, that's one of their best properties, is that they're very good at blending. Okay, so now I have that on in a couple spots. I'm going to want to go on to the fired brick. And here we go. And do the same thing. Just kind of blend it all together. It kind of almost looks like an orangey red here. What I'm going to start to do is go in with a little bit more of the worn lipstick. Here. Blend it together. Take some picked raspberry, put that over top of some of this, and kind of just go back and forth and play with the colors. If there's more of one color and you're not liking it, go back in with a different color. And then what you can do to put all of them together, this is the fabric. Yes. Okay. What you can do is go back in with the lightest color and just kind of, this kind of blends everything together. So again, that there's no hard transitions between any of the colors. And just gives it a multi-toned background. You can run this piece of paper through the Cuttlebug and get a nice embossed image on it. And then your embossed image will have several different colors of the distress ink. But this is what it's going to look like in the end. So, and again, they will all dry a little bit more evenly. Like I said, distress inks are one of my favorite things to use. So now what we're going to do is take this. I've already adhered the black background to the white card base with my ATG gun. I'm actually going to try to clean this up a little bit. Everything wipes up off the craft mat very easily. This is one of, I think this is a Ranger's non-stick craft mat. Okay, so then just make sure that it's all dry. If it's not, we'll start mixing the colors for the distressing. So now if you can see, this one is a lot more bold than this one. This one's more subtle, a little more faded. I don't know if that really picks up the subtle differences between the two, but in person, this one's a lot bolder. So what we're going to do is use the ATG gun. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. It's refillable, and I found it to be a lot cheaper than buying a bunch of the little tape runners because I use so much of it. Okay, so then I'm going to center this on the paper. The card is a 4 by 5.5. So this white paper is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then what I'm going to do is take Elmo, place him on there. I was going to use pop dots, but I don't think I want that much dimension on the card. Place Elmo on. He may have to go back under the bottle of Mod Podge. So he's not gonna, he might not stay all the way down. Some glue spots. And then the larger heart that kind of goes in like this goes right next to Elmo there. that goes on top of it. And if you have any questions about where things go, and you can put them wherever you'd like, but if you want to do the same as what the picture shows, you can always just refer back to that. And then this larger heart goes right here next to Elmo. And there's the Elmo card. So you have to stick these back down. Just put them under a weight and let it dry. So thank you for watching. This is the Elmo card from the Cricut cartridge of Elmo and Friends Holiday. I hope that you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave comments and please become a subscriber. And I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.